begin up with a roundtable discussion, harnessing GenAI for a future-proof first-party data strategy, building brand loyalty in 2025 and beyond. We have our key speakers joining, Roberta, Cianetti. She's a Client Solutions Director, Politico, Europe. Can we have a big round of applause for her and have her on the stage? Our second speaker, Gladwin NGO, he's a VP Growth from Crimson Education. Can we have a big round of applause for him and have him on the stage? Our next speaker is Sonali Singh. She's a marketing professional. Can we have a big round of applause for her and have her on the stage? Our next speaker coming up, Aditya Vikram Bharadwaj. He's a consumer connected lead from Signify. Can we have a big round of applause for Aditya? We have Anjali Kalia. She's an AVP Digital Excellence from IHH Healthcare. Can we have a big round of applause for Anjali and have her on the stage? And the moderator, Hilary Chiu, she's a Senior Manager, Digital Solution, PwC, Singapore. Can we have a big round of applause for her and have her on the stage? So let's begin up with the session, and here's our moderator to drive the session.
Thank you very much. Welcome everyone, good afternoon. Welcome back from the lunch break. I'm sure that you have got a power break just now. So very honored to be able to moderate for this session for on the GenAI as well as the brand loyalty. So I think like for now we've got a bit of the exercises. Now we've got the power bar to energize up. So a lot of things happening in the GenAI world. A lot of conversations that is in relation to the digital marketing and GenAI and brand loyalty things as well. Without further ado, I would just invite my panelists to introduce themselves very quickly in 30 seconds. And to also say one thing about anything on GenAI or brand loyalty that you are currently following on. So maybe you start with.
Hello. Hi. Okay, so thanks so much. I'm very honored and very pleased to be here. Also, I really appreciated the "We Will Rock You" dance. Thank you so much. You've done it for me because I just came this morning after 13 hours flight. So yeah, I really need to wake up a little bit. Great to be here. I'm Roberta. I'm currently Client Solutions Director at Politico. Politico is basically an authority in everything that is the intersection of politics, policy, and non-partisan news. And I previously had like a very long experience in publishing, and 11 years counting us, and previously also working in a very influential political economic newspaper in Italy. And in one word, I think if I think about something like a huge trend, it's definitely personalization. We'll come back to that.
Hi, my name is Gladwin. So I'm the VP of Growth of Crimson Education. So we do college admissions, consulting for students looking to go to US, UK schools. So my role, I focus a lot on performance marketing, running all the ads on Facebook and Google. So my one word for AI is about experience, because it's all about experience. Once a lot of things can be automated by AI. Yeah, thanks.
Hi everyone, I'm Sonali Singh, and I have over a decade of experience in brand marketing. I have worked with brands such as Panasonic, Bosch, and presently I am engaged with the automobile brand Tata Motors, and I love to do brand marketing. And with the advent of GenAI, we are able to do more. So it's more attractive, it's more growing, and ever engaging. Thank you.
Hi. Hi, my name is Aditya. I am the consumer connected lead in the company called Signify, earlier known as Philips Lighting. I look after the Asia, Middle East, and Africa market. I'm looking after the brands like Philips Hue and Wiz, which you might be aware of. In GenAI, one word which comes to my mind is actually two words: privacy and trust.
Hi, Thank you so much, Aditya. My name is Anjali. I work with IHH. IHH is Asia's #1 private healthcare organization. I don't know if you know the brands Mount Elizabeth, Gleneagle, Fortis. So these are some of our own brands. For me, I come from an industry which experiences a huge shortage of resources. So AI is what we live and breathe in every aspect. We try and bring it as much as possible through our journey to make the life of our consumers convenient and easy and palatable.
Thank you so much. I personally really appreciate this panel because we do have a very diverse background, as well as, from different territories and countries. They would definitely have a lot of different insights to contribute for the GenAI on the brand loyalty side. So let's kickstart with the first question. So definitely the first, the thing that we want to talk about is on the GenAI that has been disrupting the digital marketing space quite a bit. So maybe just maybe starting with Roberta's side. So how would that be impacting from your industry, and what would be some of the things that you would like to share with us today?
So first of all, yeah, there's hugely a huge amount of things to unpack. I was also here part of this morning, and there was really a lot of talk with this, of course, words like trust and also being accountable for informations and everything that relates to data and what we aggregate and we do responsibly. I think this is even more important if we think about this particular age and time where we cannot be out of touch with everything that is GenAI and AI as well, but at the same time the responsible use and the ethics, are words that we will hear a lot, and of course a lot of discussions there to again to unpack. I think definitely it has changed, and it will change more the way that we work and interact on a daily basis, and I think it's really the case to say, it's adapt or die, but do it so responsibly. And I want to also give time to others.
Hi. So for me, I'm not sure all of you if you've heard of this term called void marketing. It's something that came out in the last month or so. Once ChatGPT has that feature that allows you to turn your images into all the different anime that you have. So with void marketing, it's all about letting AI do the heavy lifting of creating the assets that you need, but you can add in your own thoughts in terms of how you want it to be. So really about that is for us to focus on the experience that we have for the people that look at our ads. So there's this quote by Maya Angelou which says, people won't remember what you say, what you did, but they remember how you feel. So I feel that as we enter into the AI age, it's more important for us to start focusing on the experience that we provide, and that's how void marketing helps us as marketers, that we might not be very good in design, but AI can help us with that. So thanks.
I think GenAI. Okay.
I think GenAI is becoming more pervasive in nature, and since a very early start, when we started knowing about how the tools will really work, how it will convert your required content into different multiple formats and different copy, text, visuals. So it's much more than that, because in a way it is changing the whole consumer lifecycle experience. So at every media touch point, you have more engagement to offer to the consumer, and that too more frequently. So as a brand marketer, it makes your work ever more efficient. And I think it is not just geographically, every brand or every market is adapting. It is the more tech adoption, it is more phenomenal in way how digital journeys will be imbibed and absorbed. And not just that, even consumers are embracing it ever more than before. So it is there to stay, and it is ever evolving. That's what I feel.
I think most of what I would have wanted to say is actually covered, so
Okay. I know we discussed a lot. I want to just add one more thing. So the thing about AI is, And this is our policy, that don't jump into AI just because we have to do AI, because everyone is truly talking about AI. And there are genuine concerns about, if I pass on any data, is it going to be publicly available? All that is good to know and good to research and kind of prepare yourself if you're starting your AI journey. But I think the important thing is what the problem statement you're trying to solve with it, which matters. Because you do not imagine, you do not expect it to do anything and everything. AI is also truly like a baby, and we say this whenever we launch an LLM model. We say we just created a baby, now we're going to handhold the baby to grow. Because on day one, it is crap. Just like a baby, it's pooping and throwing up and doing all those stuff. And you're like constantly worried, oh my God, it shouldn't fall on the customer. Oh my God, it shouldn't, we constantly going through that on how we're nurturing the LLM model or the AI to start doing the right thing. So there is a lot it can do, but from first party data point of view, it's very important that you think through the architecture, the infra, how are you collecting consent, how are you going to store, process or communicate about it, how are you going to draw the line between this is an AI. Don't be embarrassed to say things like, this is a virtual assistant, it is here to help you out, so that it manages the customer's expectation upfront. And then getting information and managing it in line with that just gets so much easier. That's my only 2 bits on this one, which has been from our experience.
I do like the baby part of it, because like the baby is now like 2 years old, so it requires a lot of hand holding, as well as like we being parents of it, so we need to do a lot of things to teach it to go with the way that we want to have. Aditya, so I know that so there's a lot of insight already shared, but I want to maybe first start with the the ethical part of it, as well as the data privacy part of it, since we are talking on this topic. Any thoughts from your experience from your company in terms of?
Yeah, so this is a very important part which comes in when we go into AI, which is privacy, ethics, trust. How exactly are we going to address these concerns that consumers have? How is my data being handled by a company? What are you doing with the data? Are you selling it off without my consent, without my knowledge? So the key word here is consent. You can collect the data about the consumers. How exactly does a brand go about it? How do marketers go about it? Take consent from the users first. Have a very clear opt-in process. Also give them an option of opting out should they wish to. Be transparent in your communication. So always have a privacy notice which is clearly visible to them. How are we collecting your data? What data are we collecting? You can also throw in what data are we not collecting. This helps the consumers to know that, okay, this part of my data point is safe. Where are we storing it? How long are we using it for? And what is our data archive policy? To throw some examples, let's say a customer orders on your website. You will collect their name, email ID and phone number because you have to give them delivery updates. That's a fair use of data. You have to give them the clear information. Your data is being collected till the time your delivery is completed and all the matters are resolved. Fair use of data. Maybe not every company needs to have a date of birth. Date of birth might be private in some cases. I say some cases because even here there are industries which will use date of birth as a vital piece of information. Let's take alcohol industry. You will not want an alcohol industry to market to your kids. You don't want them to market to minors. So it's absolutely critical for them to ensure, to collect the date of birth first of all, so that they don't market to minors. So in this case, that becomes a critical piece of information for them before they start marketing. So one is on giving consumers control. The second part is on establishing the trust and having a privacy, transparent data. Third is on about guidelines on how to collect the data. Minimize the personally identifiable information as much as possible. So try to use anonymized data at an aggregated level. In all honesty, most of us will use it for that purpose only, because you want hyper-personalization at scale. You don't want it to be addressable to each and every individual. You want it at scale. So use anonymized data. Always have a privacy assessment before you get into any of these data collection processes. And once you do that, most of your risks are already eliminated. And by this, you're not only addressing privacy concerns, you're actually building trust with the consumers. Companies these days are using that as a marketing tool, not just to be ethically responsible.
Thank you for all the insights, Aditya. Anjali, so I think so the next closest industry that you are in will be, on a lot of emphasis on the, personal data and the ethnicity, ethical concerns for handling all these kind of meta management related data. So any insights from your industry?
We have over time learned how to carve out different sets of data. As he rightly said, first thing is consent. And whether it is through CRM platforms, CDP platforms, or whatever tools you're using, the important thing is to identify what you're collecting, why you're collecting, and how are you going to clarify, how transparent are you going to be about it. Now here is an interesting thing. There is a difference in privacy and ethics of this whole thing, wherein I'm going to self-manage myself, that I will not do these things or I will do right by the consumer. That's ethics. That's my choice as an organization to me. But the brands which are actually building long-term relationship with the customers are the ones who are taking such decisions. So long-term, in the long run, brands which actually take these tough decisions, I'll only allow my AI to do these things, or I'll only ask for these things because I'm going to use it for personalization or contextualization, are the ones which are going to matter. So in line with that, we follow hashing, we mask, we hash, and we also carve out different components of data. So data which sits on the cloud is a different kind and less sensitive versus the one which sits on premise. What is necessary is necessary. Singapore laws are the most tough and the difficult to work with when it comes to healthcare, with highest penalties. So we are also very, very particular about what goes out, what comes in, and how is it accessible. It is also recommended, though I have to say we are on a journey ourselves. There is this whole concept of zero data policy for the customers, where you give 100% transparency to the customers to opt in and opt out of stuff on the go, which could mean I choose not to allow you to have visibility into my behavioral data on the website. This is the zero data policy aspect. But the opposite of that, which falls into the ethic, is zero access policy. Who has access to the data, what kind of data, and how will they be limited to what they can do with it. And I don't know how it works in most of you guys, but in healthcare, when we even get hired, it is part of our contract. So in our employee contract itself, it very clearly states that we are equally responsible for the data we deal with on a day-to-day basis, which makes us accountable. We don't play with it, we don't circulate files on emails, that doesn't happen. So it then is now an organizational cultural thing which we practice, so that we can keep the data safe as much as possible and continue to ensure that the customers trust us when they come and enter our clinics or hospitals or labs, that we're going to keep their data safe, their information safe, and it's not going to be available publicly anywhere.
Thank you so much for that. I think, personally speaking, is a very interesting time because all of us in here, we have been dealing with a lot of human client-facing kind of business in the industry. But then it's also at the same time that where the data is coming into play more and more importantly, and to also influencing on how we deliver or to perform our services as well. So maybe I would just want to invite Gladwin, given that you are from the education industry, how does that what are some of the challenges that you see from your industry in affecting on the use of a GenAI in your day-to-day work?
So for education, pretty much we have a lot of data from students to parents, and especially when we are helping students to get into higher education, we have a lot of information from their interests and all that stuff. So for us, it's really to make sure that only the relevant people, for example, the strategists, will have access to the data. While for marketers like us, we only have access to very basic things, like maybe their grade level and things like that, and we don't have like personal identifier that we can tie to anything when we download the list and upload to our CRM or like for Facebook to target them and things like that.
Can I add one thing? Because I'm really loving today, because there is a lot of talk even now among this panel about of course data, trust, accountability, consent. These are kind of echo words now we keep hearing. But I would like to just take a step back and really imagine also the complexity of the context. I think one speaker earlier said, also let's pause a moment, right? Let's really understand, I mean, what is the value behind everything that we're doing? Because, you know, we talk about the need to be ethical and the need to be accountable, but also the complexity of the market currently is huge. If we think about, you know, the scenario, and every one of us is like, especially in publishing, but, you know, imagine your daily life also as a customer, because also this was said this morning, and everyone is a customer. So what does that mean? That, you know, we are all readers of something, we're all customer of something. And what is our journey? Like, if you think about, you know, the most important digital trends at the moment is like fragmentation. That is very true for news, but also about, you know, kind of the customer journey itself. So we reach all of these touch points in many, many different forms and ways, and we have to have the capability to kind of follow this journey across all of these touch points and really understand what is the value that we're giving, you know, in all of this context where people are quite frankly also fed up about everything that is happening. I also think someone this morning was mentioning, is there something I can, you know, how can I take myself out of all of this conversation? I can't remember who was it, but someone said about this. I mean, and apps like, you know, Freedom and all of this in social media can actually make you pause to gain time and kind of valuable time. These are all things that we need to take into account also when we deal with this customer journey. What is this? You know, what is that we are offering as a company? What is the value behind this journey? You know, that we are inviting our customers and readers on. So just wanted to make this point, because I think that's really at the center of everything that we should also be thinking of today.
Adding on to that, so brand ethnicity has become very important in today's ecosystem. So you will see a lot of brands talking about their ethics, so delivering very appropriate messaging. So they take care, nothing misleading is going out from a brand book site. So obviously, also things like cybersecurity to take more control of data, to understand that no data breach is happening, all the privacy is maintained. So all those going to be a larger play in the times to come. And it will all ensure that everything happening, whatever new adoptions we are doing in the name of tech is all under control. So I think these are new emerging genres within the GenAI marketing or the new brand building ethos. So brand ethnicity is going to become very important.
Yeah, I think like there are a lot of variable conversation today we have, because like so as we are also in the digital marketing related industry, so we are also being the first one to be asked like, so can we try this new toy? But then whether we are going with the first one, or we need to put all these ethical considerations, the risk-related issues, the data challenges, data privacy-related issues, is also something as marketer as well as a business practitioner in mind that we will also need to be very mindful of. So I think there will be an ongoing debate on this. So maybe I would just ask the last question for this panel before we open the floor for everyone to ask the questions. So since we are talking about this, upcoming trends on all the GenAI and stuff like that, any thoughts on what will you be forecast to see for the trend in 2025 for GenAI, for brand royalty, or anything that you think that might be relevant in the space? Anyone, feel free to go first.
So maybe I would like to bring in some leader brand examples over here. So as we see, a lot of global brands have started using GenAI to use their chatbots. For example, Walmart, L'Oreal. So they've created product advisors which will act as a chatbot and will give you more enhanced and immersive experience. So that is one leg of it. Another one is, in a way, how you are doing targeting, how you are doing your ad placements. So that is also going to be more conversational in nature in future. For example, we have always used tools from tech giants like Adobe. So Photoshop has been always there. So now they have evolved to Adobe Firefly and tools like that, which will help us create more appropriate ads, such as for performance campaigns. So that is all, I think, in the future, these are the new tech which will be adopted.
I'll just close my initial remarks because I talked about personalization. So to me, that is really goes kind of hand in hand also with the predictability, so predictions in a way. So first of all, in publishing, particular AI search, it's like very, very big trend. If you think about that and the way that you you kind of pilot your search and what you really would like out of something. So also the prompt that kind of follows that and kind of creates your customizable experience. So very similar to the chatbots that Sonali mentioned, but on a different dynamic. So in terms of content that I would like to see and what really matters to me. For sure that. Also AI used in prediction analytics, so that really goes a long way. There are like many platforms that are doing an excellent job there in really supporting into what is going to be sparking, what is going to be actually working, not just in terms of content, but also in terms of understanding really what your users associate with. Even, I'm thinking about also visual, the visual patching of AI and sentiment, and also that is really like a very, very big, not just future trend, but really very, very current trend.
For me, I see the trend moving towards what I call as an A to A, agent to agent. So pretty much at the moment when you Google, you're already getting results from GenAI. So eventually, once everybody have our own agent, our own PA, you'll not be marketing to me, you'll be marketing to my agent, because you need to get through my agent as my gatekeeper first before you can get to me. So I think that's really why we keep emphasizing about experience. If the experience is not good enough, and my agent just don't think that you are a good product for me, it wouldn't even show me. So it's really about, we have to focus on how we can have a good experience that even agents out there love us.
Okay. So for me, if you're talking about loyalty using GenAI for first-party data, what you're talking about is personalizing the communication using, let's say, locally relevant assets, locally relevant content. We in Singapore probably don't want to see assets which are tailor-made for US and Europe. That's much more European-centric. And that's where AI can actually help us in delivering that at a much more cost-effective and much more easier to implement at a faster timeline kind of method.
Okay, I don't know how much I can add, but I'll give it a go. So, if you've done your, when you study during your marketing module subject, we used to study something called 4 Ps, right? So, instead of 4 Ps, which is product, place, price, and what was the fourth one I did? Promotion, right. See, I've forgotten about it. Because now we work with 3 Ps. And these 3 Ps are all centered about customer centricity. So, the starting word, whether it is AI or not AI, is what is a customer wanting? So first P stands for precision, which is pretty much what everyone covered here, which is, as a customer, know this, that I am lazy. I am lazy, why? But there is a reason for it, right? We are so busy. We are doing 18-hour shifts at work. We barely get enough time for sleep. If we have little time, then we are running around with our child and there's extracurricular activities, and I have to take him to swimming and karate and God knows what not, with even extracurricular there. So, how are you making my life easy? That's the starting point. What is a convenience? What is a contextualization? What is a personalization? And I think that precision is very, very important. Today, customers don't think about products as products. They think about them as service. What is the pain point you're solving for me? So if you're giving me, if I have to have a glass of water, is that glass of water going to make me feel, or is it going to just, whatever? So that matters, and therefore the timing matters. So precision on how well you know me and how you use that information to contextualize or personalize will make a difference. Now with that, we move to the second P, and this is very interesting because there's so much happening in that space. The second P is all about presence. Now presence is all about, today with an LLM, what are the things I can do? I can actually find a lot of information. I can fast track my search. I can ask, give me the best diet. I don't even need a dietitian. If I give me the best diet, which will help me lose weight in 24 hours for the fun of it. That's never going to be possible, but yeah. But how about if I could take this to the next level and have an element of predictive or completing? So the challenge with LLM, for example, is it's only a large language model. It's only giving you the analysis. But what about the action? So that's where LLM comes in, and there's very little buzz about LLM at this point of time, but it's coming. LLM is large action model, which is focusing on after the LLM has done the search, somebody has to complete the action, which is where you come in and say, okay, I like this ticket, so I'm going to book this flight. But what if the AI actually said, you know what, give me your credit card, I'll take care of it. Now that's convenience, right? That's my personal admin. I don't need an executive assistant after that. And that brings me to the third P, which is purpose. And I think that is true. That was true 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and it's true now. Trust, ethics, anything else you want to talk about, which will happen over time, or every little element of action as a brand we've taken. So loyalty was built 25 years ago, because I've been 30 years, so I can say 25, in the industry, doing the exact same things, but at a mom and pop store level. And it is still being done exactly the same way, but much better, faster, and at scale with technology. So I think when we think GenAI, to me, if anyone asks me, I would say, for me, it's just another tech. So I'm using it today. 5 years later, I may be using something else, all you know. Because digital is a space where everything changes. I think you said, one of you guys said that it changes every year. So every few months. So if that's what technology is, then yeah, you just embrace technology, move on, and loyalty will be an element of little things we'll put together, which even works in our personal life and also works when we work with the customers. So I think that would be my takeaway for giveaway for today, which is if you want to focus on loyalty, focus on the 3 Ps, which is precision. What is the second one? No one.
Presence.
Your dance routine did not help. Presence. And last one was purpose. So with that, we can end the class.
So I think we have around 5 minutes plus for the Q&A. Feel free to, yes.
Nice conversation. Just I would like to add a couple of points, right? The major challenges which see is happening is that awareness is very, very poor. We only talk about say 36,000 feet high. Always everyone is using like GenAI, AI, etc. It's very important across the organization. Internal user and external users should be aware of what is the capacity and capability of the GenAI. Only use the GenAI as a buzzword, but its scope is humongous. We can't believe the level of implementation automation which will help the organization. Second, just sake of implementation technology, we should not adopt any technology. First, browse through your problem, identify the problem area, scan through the entire organization, internal, external, customer. Find out the problem first, right? Then you see what technology you can bring it. And GenAI AI is going to play a good task to really improve your productivity, efficiency level, which we can't expect, can't think of about it. So that's my point, right?
Thank you.
You wanted to add it, please?
Yeah, I really like your.
I really like your point because I really like the approach of, well, everything that also, I mean, it really links to everything that also Anjali was wrapping up. Like the purpose, but also the problem is like, what is that we're trying to accelerate and solve? Because at the end of the day, it's not, it's really about working more efficiently and providing everything more timely. And I will also add one word that I think is really, really important, especially in kind of an AI, world that we live in. It's expertise, because this is not gonna, go out of fashion. Actually, this is going to be more and more relevant, because going back also to the crying baby that needs to be fed and taught, etc. Of course, I'm also a mom, so you can tell. But it's so important that we also rely on experts, whether it's like whether we think about it from a journalistic perspective, whether we think about it from a product perspective. It's like, what's the expertise behind everything? Because again, it's a tool, but then we are driving the tool. So that's something that we never have to forget. So if it is efficient and makes everything faster and also support personalization, support everything that we said, great. But we are just at the very, very beginning of the capabilities of what that will be. Because we'll see how that will be more and more integrated in everything that we are doing.
Just wanted to add top of that one important point, right? What I said 2 points.
Third point is very, very important. When you scan through your problem intent organization, you should have the workflow and a vision document, a roadmap has to be prepared. Start with the small, but scale up faster than never before. That principle has to be adopted. We need to have a vision, we need to have a roadmap in place, right? Or that will randomly will not able to duplicate the success to the one in other area. Thank you.
Can I ask the next question here? This is Mukund here. The evolving ethics of GenAI and everything. From May 2nd, GDPR is going to come with code of practices for first party data for GenAI. By August 2nd, they're going to be the rules, the fines and everything. How this is going to change the harnessing of the GenAI in the future? Whatever we are talking about after May 2nd and August 2nd, it's going to completely change, right? How are you going to look at it? More futuristic.
Sorry, I want to know if you're part of the lobby.
I'm
Because I want to be careful about what I say from here on.
I'm part of compliance,
Oh.
right? AI compliance.
Which organization?
I work for Champions Group and B2B.
Oh,
right?
you mean the champions, the MMA?
No.
Then?
It's a conglomerate.
Okay. So, but the brand is from Singapore?
Yeah, the brand is from Singapore.
Okay. So then you should know that Singapore actually led the way in putting the code of ethics, and it has, they monitor very strictly what we do, and very thoroughly. And AI, and this is funny, when we were doing the AI, the first thing we checked was how many court cases have happened in the world and whether the AI got sued or the company got sued. And we were relieved to see that it was AI. But by the way, Singapore doesn't do it that. So if our AI messes up, we will get sued here. So it's a different ways of working, and therefore we are hoping that when these kind of, well, fortunately for us, more for them, I think, GDPR, we are PDPA and we always take pride in it. But PDPA, I know, PDPA is also, every February we get the new update, every February. And we put our head like this and like, oh my God, one more thing we cannot ask. Okay, what is a roundabout way to ask, like you said, but we only ask if it is necessary. And as much as possible, it's been a great learning journey, because we thought asking everything upfront was important. But by nature of the rules, we had to pivot, and we realized, actually no, we can still do everything we want without asking everything upfront, and only ask when we need it. So it has been a change and a nightmare with SOPs, because you have to retrain your staff at the front end, because healthcare, at the end of the day, I cannot digitally deliver everything. I have to see you to deliver a lot of experiences. So it's been a learning journey, and I don't think, at least Singapore, they help us go through the journey along they bring us along, so it's okay. But yeah, we are constantly on a watch out, and even a single report to our DPO, we all get called in. We have we have a mailbox which is dedicated to that. Every email is read by everyone, and it gets escalated within seconds because of these kind of things. But thank you for bringing it. That's a very important point, because the rules are constantly changing. And it has been a task trying to keep up with them. And I think that's where hopefully technology can come to our rescue. Because I wish I had an AI who could just tell me, hey, listen, don't do this, do that. That would be wonderful, right?
No, there's going to be one more framework. PDP is working on it, right? On the AI framework, right? Because right now it's only on the data what we have, how we gather from different sources. But which AI models, that is what GDPR is coming on May 2nd, and August 2nd it's going to be fines and everything coming up. After this, PDP is going to take that framework and implement some parts of it. Are we all geared up for it?
Yeah, no. But you know the story between GDPR and PDPA, right?
Right.
We are reasonable. So I'm hoping they will continue to be reasonable. But having said that, you made a very good point, and we're watching for it because there are so many things happening, like market like India, for example. There has been this discussion of digital PDPA,
Yes.
which if I'm talking to my teams out there, they're like, it'll come, politics. So it'll come in some time, but God knows when. But the kind of penalties they've put in place, oh my God, I was shocked. It blew my mind that it's higher than Singapore. I'm like, how is this even real? So yeah, I mean, we got to know about it in February 2025. We are revisiting everything around it, trying to see what we can do fast. And we'll see how it goes from there. But it's a learning journey.
And Anjali, there's also the complexity of technology platforms per se, and the actual, like you work in compliance, so the actual compliance of these third-party platforms. So what are they doing with this data?
Exactly.
So the story gets complicated.
Yeah, and like in retail, for example, you can get rid of the data after 3 years because that's what PDPA says. But in healthcare, how do I get rid of the data? Are you going to ask me for your report 10 years later? What do? I have to have it handy. So, I mean, there are nuances and we work around it. There are levers that the governments give us by nature of our industry, and we work with that. But yeah, it's been a journey, and it has been an upheaval since COVID happened.
No,
I would say
first people who's going to get hit are the marketers, right? When they're going to have a compliance in place. Think of it in that framework. If they say, if you're using any content from AI, somebody can sue you. What will happen to all the marketers?
Exactly, but this problem is not going away.
Right, it's not going to go away.
But we love the DPO in our office because we believe they collaborate with us. I'm kidding. but genuinely, they don't make it difficult. DPOs also understand their job is not to make it difficult for us, but just show us how we can get it right.
The roadmap, how did you get it?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. So we work very closely with them.
Let's wait for May 2nd. What is going to come? Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you. Can we have a big round of applause for a wonderful roundtable discussion? So to complete this session, Hilary, if any one key takeaway from the session, one key takeaway from the session, yeah.
This session, I keep constantly reflecting on what we discussed just now, so well as well day-to-day work, because like we all as a digital business or digital marketing practitioners, we have the first-hand knowledge or the first-hand experiences on all these new tools. So also we need to bring this trend as well as this knowledge back to our organization, because there are a lot of people is still not sure like when is that gray line comes when it comes to are we releasing the business confidential information to the the available platforms online versus what are some of the information that we can play a little bit careful in order to leverage on the chance with the GenAI platform.
All right, one word I would say from each of the speakers. My best friend. My best friend is my GenAI.
It has been really insightful, first of all. Yeah, I think the discussion. Again, I'll go back to consent.
Immersive for every experience.
For me, you don't really need to rush.
Okay, two microphones. No, I'll say two, just to be against the rules. But I'll say surely expertise and experience.
All right, so can we have a big round of applause for the wonderful roundtable discussion?
It's not a question, so I just wanted to add, what not to take away from this. Yeah, GenAI is going to be there, not 4 hours, 4 years, 5 years. And UN is going to announce it as one of the human rights in 2028. And the second thing, 2050, come 2050, the largest faith followed is going to be GenAI. That's the prediction. I'm not taking the statement, it's a prediction. And its examples are there. You ask your kid, they'll ask you what's the answer. They go to Google. I have my daughter, everything she wants to know, she'll just Google. She'll not ask me while I know it or not know is not the question. But that's what the thing is, So that's not going on. I just brought this to the attention that, knowing it, it can help us to be better prepared. And there is a large prediction, even the graduation is going to go away because of GenAI, because there are kids who are learning it faster and faster. So which means that, some of the institutions, some of the education has to be much prepared for an alternative where you can do a course for 4 years within 1 year. So what's the future? So a lot of things is revolving around this. So the takeaways is going to stay there. How do we, embrace it, but at the same time, how to accept this and move forward. There are going to be a problem. I think I'll just leave it this statement, an example. You can, maybe 2 examples. You can just go Google and search GenAI salmon. You look at the picture. What you see is will amaze, because the result is only because those are the information which is given that makes you feel that it's salmon. You're not going to see a fish, you will see a dish. The second one was there was a case where they started eating bricks. The reason is they asked GenAI whether bricks is good for body, and it said yes. This was a long story, but why I'm giving in the example, it's evolved now and how it's corrected. Then you go back the root cause. There was an article which was written by a PhD. He wrote the entire thing, but he made a comment in the end that if it's good for health, you can eat brick also. It has minerals, entire thing. And the thing is, this is where the SOE, we talked about all those things, the funny things, right? I think everybody is a PhD. He started clicking, liking the comment, and the SOE acted crazy, saying that okay, so many likes, so it should be right. And the GenAI, when you ask a question, it said yes, but now it's corrected. So I just want to leave that thought, so there's no misconception that this is a technology which will go away soon. It's going to stay there, and we prepare ourselves better.
In the spirit of that disruption, I would highly recommend, if you guys like watching Netflix and Amazon, there's this series that was done called American Gods, which actually touches upon this topic.
So yeah, I was just recommending a series on Amazon. It's called American Gods, which actually touches upon this topic. It actually says that today's generation, they don't believe in God as we believed in God as a concept. Their God is internet, AI, social media, and it was amazing. It pretty much says that the internet said this brick is good for health, and then what happens as a result of it in the world, it's unbelievable. It's a very good one to kind of open up your mind.
Small point, right?
What have you
done?
One word.
If she says the one word, so probably GenAI plus human is the future, not alone that the GenAI.
I'll just close very quickly so that we can leave the people to the next panels. But just to touch on you and your daughter, I think that's very true. How do we do it? How do we blend it? We're already doing it. That's my answer. Simple as that. We are already, jumping from ChatGPT, generically information, to using. I was just saying this to these folks. We had like a panel in the panel before the panel at the coffee break. But yeah, Google Notebook LM. I use it so much to convey to myself information. Like you differently from ChatGPT, you can aggregate all the information that you want. So it's kind of a closed circle, and then you can it creates for you even podcasts that you can listen on the go, and you can auto-educate. Then you can jump on any social platform and search for whatever you want. I mean, these are things that we are already doing it. So we are already living in this present.
Yeah, let me just add one will take 60 seconds. Right? Let's look at the GenAI, right? We have got a lot of LLM models, etc. What we write, it gives me answer. That's why the prompt comes, right? The way we write the prompt, the way we make the table of the prompt is responsive. Why we write the prompt? Because the GenAI doesn't think like us. So you have to make them think like us. That's why you write the prompt, right? So always human will be there throughout the whatever generation comes to make the AI useful, right?
All right, are we good to go? Can we have a big round of applause for the wonderful session and wonderful speakers on board, and thanks Hilary for moderating this session, and thanks Roberta, Gladwin, Sonali, Aditya, and Anjali.
Thank you.
So we can have a group feed for the graph together.
Front of the table, please. Yeah, in front of the table.
Yeah, just be careful on your steps.
I think this panel will be awarded maximum questions.
Absolutely.
Triggered.
Okay, great. Everyone look here, please. 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you.
All right, kindly stay back on the stage so that we can felicitate.
Just
Thank you very much for amazing participation. Any more questions, please drop on LinkedIn.
So first we have Sonali Singh. Come on guys, huge round of applause for Sonali.
Okay, look here, please. Ready, 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Next we have Roberta. Come on guys, huge round of applause for Roberta.
Here, face the camera. 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Thanks, Roberta.
So next we have Gladwin. Come on guys, huge round of applause for Gladwin.
Okay, look here, please. Look here. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Thank you.
Next we have Anjali Kalia. Come on guys, huge round of applause for Anjali.
Okay, look here, please. 3, 2, 1.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thanks for the one.
Next we have Aditya Vikram. Come on guys, huge round of applause for Aditya.
Okay, look here. 3, 2, 1. Okay.
And at last we have moderator of the session,
Thank you so much. Good job.
Hilary Chiu. Come on guys, huge round of applause for Hilary for this wonderful session.
Okay, look here, please. 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.